So good evening all. A warm welcome to each and everyone who joined this master class. Today we have the Angular master class. Myself, Adeline Sheila from AllPro Trainings is presenting this master class to you people. So before we get into the webinar, let's have a look about AllPro Trainings. So welcome once again. So first of all, now we are going to now I'm going to give an introduction about AllPro trainings. So in AllPro trainings, we are providing all kinds of training, especially the IT technologies, electrical, electronics, and the soft skills. In the IT technology itself, we are providing more than top 100 technology trainings all over the world. Telling about our achievements, we have already trained more than 10,000 students all over the world, especially in USA, European countries, and all over India, in which most of the students are placed in various MNCs with excellent packages. So we are providing 3 types of trainings. The first one is the master class that you are attending now. The second one is a flash course, which will come for 5 to 10 hours. The final one is the full course, which will come for more than 30 hours. Next, we are going to see about today's agenda. So what are all topics we are going to cover in this master class? The first one is the participants introduction, which will be for 10 minutes. Next is the webinar content, which is for 45 minutes, in which the trainer will exclusively explain all the topics. And then next 20 minutes, the query session. In this session, you can ask all your queries regarding today's masterclass to the trainer. And then the APT students guide explanation will be for 5 minutes. After that, the APT offer session for the participants who join the masterclass today, which is followed by the feedback session for 5 minutes, in which we will share the feedback link. You should attend the master class fully and fill the feedback form completely to get the certificate. The certificate will be sent to your email ID that you give in the feedback form within a week. So provide correct email ID in the feedback form. So we will be giving the feedback form link at the end of the session. Please attend fully so that only you can get the A certificate. So now the participants, you can introduce yourself in the chat box, like your name, profession, or your student, or working professional. So please introduce yourself in the chat box. Hi Pradnya, so you're a student. Hi Aravind. Hi Shreya. Hi Sanjay, you're a student. Ashish. Hi. So please mention you are a student or working professionals. So Aravind. Seron Joy, hi, welcome. Good evening, welcome all. Niranjan, Kishore. So please introduce yourself in the chat box. Hi Vijay. Hi Nilesh. Hi Saxena. So you have 7 years experience. Hi all, welcome. So once again, welcome all to this masterclass, Angular masterclass. So for today, we have trainer, Mr. Amit Singh, who is a well-experienced trainer. He has more than 6 years of experience, and he has trained number of students. Most all of the students are placed in MNCs. He's also giving training to students and AllPro trainings also. He's now going to present the webinar to you. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening. So first of all, I will introduce myself, then we'll proceed for the Angular training. So myself, Amit Kumar Singh, and I'm carrying an experience of 6+. And I work on technologies like .NET, Angular, and React, and I am carrying an experience of 6+. So today we'll learn about why we should learn Angular, because in market many technologies are there, like we have the .NET, Java, React, Vue. So why should we go for learning the Angular? So I will share my screen. So before starting to learn Angular, there is a doubt, like in market, if you see, in market we have two versions of Angular is there. One is Angular JS and one is Angular. So we'll see the difference between both, means first Angular JS and the Angular, and then we'll proceed with the Angular. So we'll see about the difference, because many people has doubt between which one should we start. So the Angular, the Google team, which has the Google has the Angular core team, which they have first introduced the Angular JS in 2010. So Angular JS they have introduced in 2010, and it is Java based, JavaScript based. So whatever the code you are writing, it will be of the JavaScript base, and it was not supported for mobile. So it was not supported. So to support the mobile version, we used to use the third-party libraries. So the same team which has developed the Angular JS, they thought to rewrite the Angular, because there was some drawback, is not supporting the mobiles, and there are lots of drawback was there in Angular JS. So the same team has written the Angular, and they introduced this Angular in the year 2016. So here the Angular is based on TypeScript. And TypeScript is maintained by the Microsoft. And this Angular is maintained by the Google. So both these big companies are working to manage this, both their product. So they have come up with TypeScript. So TypeScript is generally the superset of JavaScript. So whatever the code you are writing in JavaScript is valid for TypeScript, but the TypeScript has some advanced features like they have the classes interface, they have the arrow functions, and they have the already they are supporting the ES6 features in there. We have the separate operator, we have the rest operator. So once we'll go and see, we'll learn about this TypeScript, about what are the features available in this TypeScript, and it is mobile supported. And the final difference is it is 5 times faster. The Google team has announced that the Angular is 5 times faster than the Angular JS. And Angular has also going to release in a year. They are going to release 2 versions. After every 6 months, they are going to release 1 version. So they started with Angular 2. And currently in market, the Angular 13 version is there. So this is the difference. So we are going to learn about the Angular, not about the JS, because now they have officially announced that they are not going to support this Angular JS versions. So all the applications which are in Angular JS, they are migrating to the Angular. Okay, so this is the difference, and we are going to learn about the Angular. So let me show you the video. So the first question will be, what is Angular? So in a simple term, we can say that whatever the applications which we are building for the client side, so that is known as, that will be created with the help of using the HTML, CSS, or you can use the JavaScript or the TypeScript. So to create the client side application, we are using the the Angular, and it is also means open source. So we don't have to buy a single rupees to purchase that framework. We can go and you can download and you can start working on the Angular. And Angular especially is they have created to build the single page applications. So single page application means whenever you are saying, if you see the application which are built in .NET or the Java, so whenever you go and request for any of the pages, so that page, all the request will be go to the server. But with the help of the single page application, the first time only the request will go to the server. Whenever you will go and request for the next time, so that request will be not means it will go for server for only fetching the data. All the scripts and your CSS file and your means your images all will be downloaded in the first request only. So suppose I will show you the live example. So suppose I will go and open the Angular official page only to see the single page application example. And you have to go to the inspect element and you have to go to this network tab. So whenever you go and request any of the request to the server, all that request, the link will be displayed over here. So you can see in the first request, if you can see over here, so all your JSON file and your, if you can see JSON file, and if you go for the image, okay, let me delete all this and send the request for angular.io. So now you can see all your JSS file has been downloaded and your CSS will be downloaded. You can click on this, all the tabs which you have here, it will give you the related output. over here you can see all your images will be downloaded, your font, so all will be downloaded on the first request. Now if I will go and delete all these requests, and now if I click on any of this tab, so suppose I have click on doc, so you can see in the everything is blank because only the requested some files will be get downloaded on the request. All the CSS and that file will be blank because on the first request only it has been get downloaded over here. You can see all the fonts, images, that all are blank. If you click on any of the tab, only the requested will be downloaded. And if you can see on this, it will be not get refreshed because all it has been downloaded. So it is not refreshing over here. Now, if you go and see any of the application which are built on the other technologies, so you can take the NASA only. And over here, if you can see, I will do the inspect element over here. Go to the network tab. Go to all and just refresh the page. So over here also you can see every time this will be get reloaded. So over here now if you can see it has get downloaded all the fetch files, JSS and the CSS all files. Now if I delete and I will click on some other tabs like, so you can see this has been get refreshed. If you can see on this before this address bar, this will be get refreshed. And again, you can see over here, all your JSS and your CSS file will be, again, it is getting called from the server. If I'll click on over here, so again, it will be get all your JSS file. So this will go and decrease your performance of your application because every time if you go and send for the server, so the server will going to take some time to respond to your request. So it will give the bad performance to your applications. So with the help of Angular, you can go and you can increase the performance of your applications, and that's why they have used for the single page applications. So single page application means this whole page will not going to refresh. Whatever the request you will make, that portion will be only get refreshed. Okay, so this was about the difference between the application which can be created with the help of Angular and the Angular. And this is why we need, so with the help of Angular, we can go and you can create the single page application. So whatever the portion you are going to create, it will be, that portion will be only get updated. So this is what is Angular and why is Angular. Now, before working with Angular, we have to be the knowledge on some of the prerequisites, which is HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And if you don't aware about that typing, it is optional, but these three you should know, or at least you should know the basic, because to create our HTML file, whatever the view or template, we require to know the HTML, and to give some of the stylings to that, we require to know the CSS. And already I told that the TypeScript is the superset of JavaScript. So you should aware about this JavaScript, then only you can go and write the modern or the advanced features using the TypeScript. So these three are the prerequisites you should aware of. Okay, so now I will show you the practical way what are the things required to start with the Angular. So to start with Angular, the first step will be install Node.js. So we require to, first of all, we require to install the Node.js. And to install the Node.js, you have to go to their official websites. And from there, you can download the latest version of the. So I will go to the nodejs.org. And once you will open this link, nodejs.org. So here you will get a currently I'm using the Windows operating systems. So it will show download for Windows operating system 64-bit. If you are using the Mac, then you require to use, they will show that download for the Mac. But my operating system is Windows, so they are showing the download for the Windows. So here we have the two versions of Node.js. One is this current version and this one is the stable version. So this current version means they are updating the features on this version of library. So it is still in the testing phase. But if you can see this LTS long time support and it is recommended for most users. So this version is the stable one. So always try to install this stable version. So once you click on this, the exe will be get downloaded. And as you have installed a Notepad or some other software, in the same way, you can go and you can install with next. And once you'll get installed this Node.js, now we have to check whether it is installed or not. So we'll open the command prompt. And over here, to check whether the Node.js is installed or not. So we have the command of node, or you can write short form -v or -- version. So it will give you the version of which node version is installed in your system. So currently in my system, if you can see 16.13.2. And if before installing this node, if you go and type this command, so it will throw an exception like the internal or external command is not recognized. So if it is installed, then it will show you the version. Otherwise, that it will go and display you the error message. So you can go and install from the official website of the Node.js. Once you will install, one npm will be by default get installed with node. So to check the version of npm, we can say the same way -v or -- version. So if you click on this, so in my system 8.3.2 is the npm version has been installed. So before starting, the first step is to install the npm, and to check you can go and use the version. Then by default the npm will be installed. npm stands for npm package manager, and you can go and check this also with npm-v. So we don't have to separately install this npm. By default it will get installed in your system. So what npm help us to do, like suppose you have to install any of the third-party libraries. So you require to go to their official website, then you have to search for the versions, and then you have to install the exe, and then you have to do all that things. But with the help of npm, it will go and it will increase your productivity. So you have to, like, the npm has a very large ecosystem, so where you can go and find all the libraries, like it is related to Bootstrap or any of the library you want to include in your application. With the help of npm, you can go and you can install. So suppose npm, and you can write the short form of install, or you can write short I, and the which library you want to install. So suppose I want to install the Bootstrap. So, and you can specify the version also at the rate, and which version you want to install, 4.4 something, which version. You can give the version over here. So that version only it will go and it will install in your systems. So this npm will give you the increase your productivity. So you don't have to search, go to search on Google. With the help of this npm, you can easily go and install in the fast way to our application, the library. So this is the first step to work with Angular. Once this is installed, now we have a Angular CLI. And CLI stands for the common line interface. So it will go and provide your interface. Through that, you can also increase your productivity. So once you will install Angular CLI, it will give you command ng-new. So with the help of ng-new, you can go and you can execute your Angular application. You can go and create the Angular application, or the multiple, you can go and create the component, directives, pipe. So with the help of this command, you can go and you can execute. So suppose I have to install this Angular CLI. So in the same way with the npm, so npm, or I can write I, or I can go and write install, both are same. So install and at the rate Angular/CLI. So this is the command to install the CLI. But when you go and write this command, so it will go and install locally in your C drive, because currently I'm in my C drive. And if I'll try to create any of the Angular application through other drive like D or C, because it is locally installed in your C drive, so that will not going to work. So to install this Angular select globally in your local machine, you have to just give a command of -G. So -G stands for globally. So this Angular CLI, it will install globally in your system. So either in your desktop or in any of the drive, you can go and you can create the applications. So once you will write this command and press enter, so it will go and it will install the latest version of Angular CLI. And currently we have the Angular version 13, which is the latest one. So it will go and it will install the latest version in your systems. And once it is get installed, we have the command of to check --version. Once you will type this command, it will give you the which version of Angular is in your install in your systems. So it depends on your internet connectivity also, how much time it will take to install. So it will take some time, depends on the internet connectivity. So once this is installed, so with the help of that command, you can go and you can check the version of your Angular CLI. So wait for 2 minutes, I think it will be get installed. So already in my system that was installed, so I will show you. So if I run this command ng-version, okay, hyphen, sorry. So you can see it will give you, once you will type that command, it will give you the user interface like this. So in my, you can see Angular CLI 13.2.3 and the node version and the package npm, all the details it will go and it will display over here. And once you will do all this installation, so to work with the Angular, we just require these two installation. One is the Node.js and the other one is the Angular CLI. And once the Angular CLI is installed, and Angular CLI also give you, like if you want any help, so you can write ng help. So it will give you other commands like you can go and deploy, you can end-to-end testings, serve, test, all, build, all it will go with the description. So from here also you can learn about all the commands over here. Now it has created, now we have done with the setups, and you can use any of the editor. So I am going to use the VS Code, and just you required one Chrome, any of the browser. So I am going to use the Chrome browser. So just to do the setup, only these 4 steps is required. Now you can go and you can create your Angular application. So to create the Angular application, we have the command ng new and your project name, whatever the project name you want to give, you can give over here. So suppose I have, for an example, ng new, And suppose I have to create some grocery or any online shopping. So I can write over here grocery, right? So the name of my application is grocery and the command ng new and the grocery. Now I will go to the CMD and over here I will write ng, or you can change the directory also. So suppose I will go to my E directory and over here I will make one folder. And now you have to go to the CD. And over here, I can go and create the application of grocery. So it will going to ask you few questions like, would you like to add the routing? Routing in the sense like we are navigating from the home to about us page or the price or contact us, that we can use the concept. So at the initial stage, we don't used to write include the routing. So we can say no. And once then it will ask which style sheet you want to include. So if you are good in normal CSS, like whatever the normal CSS we have, you can go and select this all the advanced CSS. If you want to select, you learn. If you are good, you can go. So in this, I will go and select the normal CSS. So just press enter. So it will take time and it will go and it will create the default structure of the Angular applications. So in that, it will go and create one default module and the default component. And all like for the testing purpose, we have the Jasmine and the Karma tool. And it will give some of the default UI, which is related to the Angular only, which will be in your root component. So in Angular, everything is component. So suppose if I will go and open the paint till it's getting installed, it will take some time. So over here, suppose this is your main component. This is your main component. So you can make it as your app component. And inside this, like in the other technologies also, we used to have the master pages. In that we used to design our application in such a way, like the header, footer, and the sidebar and the body. On the body, we have the dashboard. So over here also, you can go and create the separate component for everything. Like suppose we have gone and create one separate component for the header. In the same way, you can go and create the separate component for the sidebar. And again, you can go and create the separate component for footer. And this is your body. And on the body also, you can have the dashboard over here. So all this will be a component. Header will be a component. Sidebar will be a component. This footer will be a component. This dashboard will be a component. This body will be a component. So Angular is all about the component. So you can go and you can design your application in such a way in your root component. So app is our root component. On that template or view, you can say on app view, you can go and design our application in the way you want to display to the customer. So this is the way you can go and you can display to our customer the UI. So it will initially it's taking time because it will go and create the default structure of the Angular. So suppose if I have to display something already which I have. So it will go and it will create, you can see over here, it will go and it will create the default structure like this. So it will going to have the E2E file end-to-end testing. Then the whatever the third-party libraries you will install, like the Bootstrap or any of the third-party libraries, all will be go inside this node underscore modules. And this is your main file where all your component and modules will be there. This is the SRC file. Once you will open this SRC, you can see by default it will going to have one default component, which is app component. And then you have the assets where you go and put your all images and the fonts in the assets. And then the environment where you have to change the which environment. In the environment.ts you'll give the path depend on the development and the prod. And then we have all this, the index.js and the main file. And then the all this you can see over here, we have the karma over here for the unit test cases. So once this will install, yeah, the application has been now installed. Now I have to go over there. So cd grocery, and to open this code by default in your Vector, you have to write code and dot. So by default, it will go and open in your VS Code editor. And you can see it has created the same whatever I have showed over you, node modules, and then the SRC, all these files. Now over here in this VS Code, there is also one terminal. From there you can go and create all. We don't require to go for the command prompt. So over here we have the terminal. Just click on terminal and the new terminal. So it will give you this path. So from here you can go and you can run or create the component pipe directives. All that you can go and create from here. So currently it's in PowerShell mode. So I will go and make it in the command prompt and we'll do CLS. And to execute these Angular applications, if you go to the angular.json, package.json. So over here, if you run this script, so they have given like ng, and for the start, you can go and write this command ng serve, or you can write npm start. So by internally, it will go and it will call this ng serve. So we'll mostly the people prefer to start with ng serve only. So ng serve. And now, if you want to open this by default in your default browser, so you can go and give -o is the short form, or you can give -open. So I will give you -o. So once this will be get compiled, okay, so this is already in use. So you can go and change. By default port of Angular is 4200. So already I think one other editor is open on this port. So you can go and you can change the port, and you can go and change the port of, you can also give the port name of the 4-digit, whatever the name you can give, 2200 or 42 is the default. Whatever it will be consist of 42 you can give, or by default it will be created by the Angular. So once this all bundle will be get compiled, by default it will go and open in the default browser. So you don't have to copy paste the URL and open in any of your browser. So the advantage of giving -o is that it will by default open in your default browser. So if you open this SRC file and if you go to the app, so they are following some practice. I mean the naming convention. If you can see, we have created one by default. It has created one component. So whenever you go and create any of the component in Angular, it will go and create 4 files for that Angular. So suppose over here I will go and create customer component. So customer.component.html file. In the same way, it will go and create for the CSS. And then it will go and create the TS file where you are going to write your all logic, business logic. And then it will go and create one spec.ts file. So over here, you will go and write the unit test cases before assigning to the QA. You have to test whatever the logic you have written with the some of the dummy data or fake data. So that you will go and write inside this. So you can see they are following some naming convention. So name of the component and then dot component and then dot HTML. In the same way, whether you go and create services or pipe, so they will follow the same naming convention. Now you can see by default, they have open over here. You can see by default, it has open on this port. And this is the UI by default they have created in our app component. So you will get all this when you first time you will execute, you will get all this UI. And I will show you that code. So you have to go to the app.component.html. And over here, you can see all that code has been by default created with the when you go and create your Angular applications. So suppose if I will go and delete this, and in the app.component, there will be one property they have declared with the title. So now I have to display this to the UI. So over here, I will go and use the concept of string interpolation, which is the data binding. Interpolation. And over here, interpolation represented with double opening and closing bracket. And whatever the property that over here you defined, you just have to paste over here. So it is title. And now you save both the files. All files you can click over here, you have the option just save. Automatically it will be get updated on the browser. You don't have to refresh the page. That is the responsibility of the ng serve. It will go and it will serve over here, and you can see it is displaying. Now suppose if you go and change the value, I will go over here and change the value over here. Angular master. And I will go and put this in H2 tag. And now I will save all the files. If we have to save all the files, then only it will get reflected. And now if you go to the browser, you can see that text has been changed. So we are not refreshing the page also. It is automatically, it will be get refreshed. And whatever the changes we have added or changes in our component or HTML file or any other file, it will be automatically, it will be get changed. Just our responsibility is to save that file. So this is how the application works. Now you can go and create the application and all the types of application with the help of Angular. Suppose I have to create the desktop application. So I have to use the combination of Angular plus Electron.js. So there are many JS framework which are available in market. And if you have to use the web application, so simply you can go and use the Angular. And if you want to create the mobile application, so you have to use the Angular plus Ionic. So with the combination of that, you can go and you can create all types of applications, whether it is desktop application, web applications, or the mobile applications. Okay. Now let me give you the flow, how the request comes and how the application get executed. So whenever the request will come, it will come to this main.ts file. So the first time request will come to the ES file, and over here it will search for the module, which module they want to execute. So by default, we have the app module over here, and app module is this app.module.ts. So the first request will come to the main.ts, then it will go to the app.module.ts over here, and in this we can see we have the bootstrap. So this not the bootstrap which we know that CSS. This is not that bootstraps. So it will go and it will bootstrap whatever the component. So by default, you have it will have the app component. You can give the other component also. That component it will go and execute. So I have seen in the real time also they will leave it as the app only, the main component, and they are not doing any changes over here. But you can go and you can do the changes, like you can create any of the component and you can include over here. Just you have to import that one. Like over here you can see it has imported from the path, and you can give the name of the component. So that component will become the root component, which will be displayed to the users. And that component, whatever the app component, it names will be over here. You can see app.component over here. Export class app.component. Okay. So once it will come, it will go and execute. And over here you can see we have the selector. This is the metadata at the component decorator. So wherever you go and use this selector, whatever the UI you have created over here, that will be displayed on the place. So if you see, we have the index.html, and this app-root has been used as a tag in the body. Over here as a body. So like if you have created any of the component, and wherever you will go and use that at the root, means the selector name, and you can change the selector name also. It is not mandatory. It has written in the, if you go to the your angular.js, so you can see over here they have written prefix app. So every time you will go and create any of the component, so it will get prefix with your app. But you can change your component that selector name, whatever the selector name you will give. Just you have to use over here in the tag, because this is the main component, and that will be displayed in this body, whatever the component will have. So that will be get displayed on the body. So you can go and you can change the selector name over here. Now, so this is how the execution comes. So it will come to the main.ts file, then app.module, and it will go and execute whatever the component you have defined over there in that bootstrap array. Okay. Now we'll see, like as we know that the Angular is itself written in the Typescript. So mostly the people prefer also to write your business logic in the Typescript. But as we know that our browser can understand only the JavaScript code, because every browser has different JavaScript engine. Like if you go for the Chrome, so Chrome has V8 engine. Whatever the code you have in the JavaScript, that code will be get rendered using the V8. In the same way, we have the Mozilla, which has the Donkey engine, and in the IE we have the Chakra. So this all the JavaScript engine helps to render our JavaScript code to the browser, because you know that the browser can understand only the HTML. So whatever the code you will write in Typescript, with the help of Typescript compiler, which is the TSC, it will be first get converted into the JavaScript, because our browser does not understand the Typescript code. So with the help of this TSC compiler, it will first convert to the JavaScript, and then it will be get rendered to our browser. So if you are working separately, so you have to install, like you can go and you can create one folder, and in that folder you can go and create one file of index.ts, and you can write some function or anything, and then you have to write tsc and then the index.ts. So what it will do, it will go and change the file to the index.js, and that JS file you can go and you can execute with the help of node. So node index.js. So whatever the code you have written in this index.ts file, that will be get executed. When you are practicing the Typescript separately, you have to install the Typescript also, and then you can create the folder and another folder that you can go and create the file. And in this file, you can go and write your whatever the function, or you can do something. And with the help of this, you have to first transpile to this file to the index.js, and then you can go and run with the node index.js, because our browser does not understand this Typescript file. So before serving to the browser, it will be first converted to the JavaScript. Okay. So this was the demo of the Angular, what are the things. And in Angular also, we have the many concepts like we have the data binding, how different data binding we have. Like we have the one-way binding, then we have two-way binding. Then we have the directives, how to display our value, or how we can go and change the value of the DOM. Then we have the pipes, how to display the values. Like suppose if you are displaying some amount and you want to display the currency with the amount, with the help of pipe, we can go and you can display. Then we have the route concept, which will help us to navigate from one tab to another. Then we have the concept of forms, to create the forms in Angular. Then we have the concept of DI, dependency injection. And we have multiple forms over, and more concepts are there in this Angular. So that's all about from my side. If you have question, you can ask.
If you have any queries, please ask in the chat box.
Yeah, so when you first create the any of the component, so that component will be empty, means the CS file will be empty, because you have to write, suppose they have written inline CSS. That's why the CS app.css is means it's empty. So we can write separately, like suppose over here I have written this and I have to write something class title, and I can go and write over here. So it's a class. So class stands for dot, and I can go and change the color, and I can make to red. And once I will save this, both the files, and now if you go to the browser, so the color has been changed. So you can write separately the CSS and the HTML code and all your logic in the .ts file, and this spec.ts file is used for testing. So whatever the logic you have assigned written in .ts file, so nowadays before assigning to the QA for testing, we have to test our own functionality with some of the dummy data. So we are writing all that logic in this spec.ts. So at the initial stage, it will be the empty. So what? No, Angular is a framework. It's not an ID. It's a framework, and under which we have the multiples, like we can do with like React is a library, but Angular is a framework. So with the help of framework, we can do many things. Like we are doing the testing also, because Karma and Jasmine tools are also available in the Angular. So we don't have to install any of the third-party libraries. With the help of Angular only, we can do. Yeah, so you can, it will going to take around minimum, it will go and take around 20 to 25 days. And like, if you can see currently, if you are good in Angular or any of the JS framework, so you can easily get the job, because many of the startups are also looking for the Angular or the other JS framework guy, because these are nowadays in more in demand as compared to the other technologies. So Angular will be like learning Angular, you can you will get the job easily. Yeah, so learning Angular, it's a front-end developer. So if you want to become a full stack, so you have to learn the backend also. Like you can go for the Node, MongoDB, NoSQL. So all these things, if you learn as a backend, so you can become the means the full stack developer. So like a Node is a Node, you give you a platform to means execute all our like suppose you have installed the Node, so you have it has given the npm, which help us to means include all the libraries at the very fast. We don't have to go and search all the versions. Just writing the few commands that will be get done. So in this, the Node is helping us. And module, like suppose when the everything in application we have to manage, so the module will be where the compiler will go and search. Like if you go and add any of the services pipe, all will be included over here in the module. If you not include in the module, so that will be not recognized by the Angular CLI. So that will not, that code will be not going to work for you. So whatever the component, if you can see, we have the app component. So in the app component, we have imported that one, and we have in the declaration also we have put. In the same way, if you add more and more component in the real time, we have the, when we go and create the enterprise applications, so it will going to have the multiple components. So all that you need to include over here in this app.module.ts. Otherwise, it will be not, your code will be not reflected, because Angular CLI will come to this module and it will go and it will search that portion. So I have 7 years of experience. To Angular only deals with front. Yeah, Angular only deals with the front end. So like we have the two types of developer. One is the front end and one is the back end. So if you want to become a front end developer, you have to learn like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, and the Angular. And if you want to go for the more advanced, like for the state management, then you have to go and use the NGRX to maintain your state. And if you want to do like more programming, more advanced programming, then you can use the RxJS also. If you go and install by default, they are installing the RxJS. If you go and see over here in the package.json, so there are few libraries which they are installing by default. So you can see over here, they are installing the RxJS also. So to do more advanced programming, you can use the RxJS. Yes, I'm going to teach the Angular completely. And like I will go and give you the how to create the like write the unit test cases, but more focus on the Angular. And I will give you the basic like how to create the application, how to do the unit testing, how we are deploying our application to the server. So all I am going to teach you. Do you have any other questions? So I think they don't have questions. All I have answered.
So any other queries, please ask in the chat box.
Yeah, so you can connect with them when they are going to start the batch. They will give you the full details. Yeah, sure. I will share it. Or I think this video is live on YouTube. You can get from there also.
So any other queries, guys? Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah,
for this amazing masterclass. It was quite interesting, and all the topics you covered are very clear and helpful. Thank you so much, sir.
yeah, thank you.
So now I am going to play the feedback video of one of our students. Kindly watch it.
Hi guys, I'm Aishwarya from Chennai, and I'm working in testing background. I'm a manual tester come automation tester. As I needed some help with automation training, I reached out to Ayyappan from AP Trainings. So he suggested me to take up the Selenium Java course, and I got a very good guidance from AP training from Rahul and Ayyappan from AP, and currently I have got an offer with a 120% hike, and I definitely got the confidence and courage to move to switch to another company only after completing this training. And I would definitely suggest you guys to get into AP trainings and get yourself moved to a better career. Yeah, thank you.
So now I am sharing the feedback from our students. Hi, can you hear me? Okay, there is some network issue. Please wait. So now we are going to see the feedback from some of our students. Whether my screen is visible? So this is the review from our student Aishwarya. She took Selenium training and she got 120% hike. Next is the review from a Python student Mohana Priya. So she came without any coding knowledge. So she came without any coding knowledge, and she told she can understand the language basic codings. She told this will help her to get a job. Next is the review from the Python UiPath student Monida Reddy. He completed RPA path training. He told it is a good learning experience. Next is the review from SQLDBA student Sterina Vijay. Thank for giving us a really helpful training. Next is the review from a US student Parveen. She took Blue Prism training from us. After taking training from AP Trainings, she switched to a job from teaching into IT field. She told she paid 100% both for the money she paid. Next is the review from our SQL student Surya, who learned SQL from AllPro trainings, who also placed with very good packages. Next is the feedback from a non-IT student Anis, who took Blue Prism course and got placed in IT field. Next is the feedback from our student Elias, currently working in a MNC. So this is the feedback from another student, Soundria from USA, who recommends AllPro trainings for a better future. So now I'm going to share the students guide. So how we'll be giving training in AllPro trainings and what are the methods we are following here. So now we are going to the AP training students guide. Here we are following 5 forces. First one is the simple learning methodology. Second one is the students recall. Third is the creative explanation. Fourth is the fingertip materials. And fifth is additional bonuses. So in the simple learning methodology, here it is divided into 6 sessions. The first session is for 10 minutes, in which the people can ask the previous day class queries to the trainer. The next session is for 20 minutes, in which the trainer will take a set of topics for that day. The next session is for 15 minutes, in which you people have to practice in front of the trainer. In the fourth session, the trainer will take the next set of topics for 15 minutes, which is followed by the fifth session, in which you can again practice for 10 minutes. And in the final session, you recall all the topics you learned on that day for 5 minutes. So totally it will be around 75 minutes. Next, the learning pyramid. The learning pyramid model suggests that some methods of study are more effective than others. All our trainings are designed based on this learning pyramid. Learning pyramid shows that if you are able to accurately and correctly teach a subject to others, you will have a full mastery of the concepts. So our students are well trained to this level. And next is the creative explanation. Different kinds of learnings are available: e-learning, e-coaching, collab learning, and virtual classroom. Nowadays, you can get everything on the internet, but you don't know exactly what will help you to find a job. Our training is structured in a way that the trainer will guide you to select what you exactly needed. It will be like a virtual classroom. You can clear all your queries directly with the trainer. And OneNotes. So all the class notes will be provided day-wise, so that it will be easy for you to revise the topics at any time. And mind map, it is a note-making method which you are following in AllPro trainings. And next is all class notes with the pictures, diagrammatic flow explanation, and training notes in single notebook will be provided. And fingertip materials are from day 1 to till the end of the course. All live classes will be recorded, and the required software will also be provided in the shared drive. So you will get live courses as well as recordings of the same for future references. And the additional bonuses, I will be providing free interview sessions, lifelong community support, we'll give job links, we'll help you in resume preparation, and you will get professional certification guidance and LinkedIn recommendation. So now we are going to see the offer session. So AllPro trainings offer session. So first we have 3 types of training. One is master class, which we are attending now. Other 2 types of flash course and a full course. And the full course will be for 35 to 40 hours. And the flash course will be for 5 to 10 hours. So can you guess what will be the market price for Angular? You can comment in the chat box. What will be the market price for Angular? Any guesses? Any guesses? Simply reply for 25K. So the market price for Angular is around 18K to 25K for the full course, and the flash course is 6K to 8K. So can you guess what will be AllPro training's price? So we won't charge that much. So our price will be 15K for full course and 4K for 4,000 for flash course. Do you think this price is reasonable? So reply in the chat box. Do you think this price is reasonable? Okay. So there is a special offer for those who people join this masterclass today. So only for those people, we have a 15 minutes a crazy offer. The full course will be 12K and the flash course will be 999. So only for those people who have joined this masterclass today, we have a special offer. And this offer is only for 15 minutes. The full course will be 12K and the flash course will be for only 999. Kindly make use of this offer. So full course is 12K and it's a 15 minutes offer. It's only for those people who have attended this masterclass today. So next is the special bonuses you will get. You will be arranging for free interview session, helping in resume preparation. We'll be providing professional certification guidance, lifelong community support, LinkedIn recommendation, and a job guidances. And what are the special advantage of learning in AllPro trainings is you can clear all your queries at any time with the trainer. The training is conducted at your preferred time. You'll be providing all video recordings of the live classes and daily class notes and documents. Everything will be shared in the drive. And salary prediction. So if you are a fresher, the salary pack will be 2.5 lakhs per annum. But if you update yourself with current technologies, you will surely get 5 lakhs per annum. So a small amount is spent can give a big change in your career. So make use of it. The offer is only for only you people who have attended the master class today. So now I am sharing the feedback link. So kindly fill the feedback link with the correct email ID. So for those who people fill the feedback link, you will get the e-certificate. Only for those people who fill the feedback link will get the e-certificate. So I hope you would have received the feedback link in the chat box. Please confirm me. So fill the feedback link immediately. So only those who fill the feedback form will get their e-certificate within a week in their Gmail mail ID, which you have provided in the feedback form. So give the correct email ID. You will receive your feedback form in the email ID. So fill it immediately. So update yourself, learn Angular with us. This trainer is taking a batch now. So the full course offer will end in just another 10 minutes. Please make use of it. Full course fee is just 12K only. And it is a 15 minutes offer. Please fill the feedback form immediately. You can see the payment link in the screen. So those who can't pay the make the full payment immediately, you can make a token payment of ₹1,000 and book your course. Once you make the payment, share the screenshot in our WhatsApp number. So I'm sharing the feedback link again. So fill the feedback form correctly with the correct mail ID to receive your e-certificates. So you're seeing the payment link on the screen. So if you can't make the full payment immediately, you can make a token payment of ₹1,000. So once you make the payment, take a screenshot and share it in our WhatsApp number. So you can contact us in this number. I have given it in the chat box. You can contact us in both numbers I have provided in the chat box. So this offer ends in 15 minutes, another five more minutes. Kindly make use of it. The demand for Angular is increasing in the market, so you can become a front-end developer. The future scope for Angular developer is very bright, so most of them are students. So do make a course, learn with AllPro trainings, and enhance your career. So if you have any queries, kindly contact us in the number mentioned in the chat. So hope you would have filled the feedback form. We are going to end the session. Thank you so much. So it was an amazing session. Hope you would have filled the feedback form. So the full course is 12K. So kindly make use of it. So we are ending the session now. So thank you everyone. Thank you for your wonderful participation. Thank you.